So what's the deal with cross-country ski bindings? Well, for beginners it can be pretty confusing, but essentially you're going to see these types of bindings in use on prepared trails. We've got the SNS Profil. This is a Salomon design that was used by Atomic and a couple of other manufacturers at one time. This is the SNS Pilot, which is as you can see, it's got some similarities, but it's different from the Profil. And this is what's known as an NNN, or in the Salomon Atomic world, a Prolink binding, just to make life confusing. But Prolink NNN, which is a Rotterfeller, Fischer and Rossignol design. Rotterfeller initiated it and it was taken up by the manufacturers, and Prolink are the same. So what's the compatibility between these? Well, none whatsoever. As you can see, this is a fairly old design. It's got a rubber bump on the front, but so is the NNN, and it takes a boot with a large groove in it like this. So basically that clips in the front, and the rubber bump at the front rests on the boot, and that stops skate from dropping. So you like that, and it stops skate from dropping when you're skating or when you're classic skiing. So it essentially acts as a spring. Now, that boot, this is the NNN binding. It also has a rubber bumper. It also opens like this, so it looks the same, but the design is different. It's got two rails here. So that boot will not go in there. Now you might say, what about if I take this this rail and put it onto this NNN binding? Well, first of all, you'll have trouble actually fitting it, although it's probably possible to do with a Dremel, but the actual width here is larger, is wider, so this boot will not physically go in. It's not possible. So what about the Salomon Salomon Pilot design? Well, they decided in their wisdom that they didn't like the simplicity of the rubber bumper, and this is great because you can change this bumper to give different flexes. It's quite a good design, and they decided to replace that bumper with this little lever here, which is sprung. It's fairly complicated, and the boots actually have two bars. So here we have a single bar that clips in the front, and here we have two bars. So you put in the front boot, and then the second bar, if you're lucky, without breaking your skis, clips in the back, and that provides the return. Okay, so what are the advantages or disadvantages of this design? Well, lots of disadvantages really. This hook wears, and when that wears you can end up with your boot coming unclipped unintentionally, and in extreme cases you can end up having to basically walk or shuffle back to the parking lot because that no longer clips in. I know that's happened to several people, or the spring can break. So it's a more complicated design. More complex means more risk of the thing breaking. Okay, on prepared trails, so you could always call help or whatever, but it's not great when you're maybe 10 miles, 15 kilometers from the trailhead. The other problem, and it's a problem that partly affects this binding, is this groove gets full of snow, and you end up having to do some gymnastics to clean this. Well, this, you've got two bars, and the two bars, this area here is very prone to getting clogged with snow. It packs down. If you walk around on these boots, you can end up with a block of ice in there that takes forever to clear out. So it's not great from that viewpoint. An advantage, well, it's possibly slightly better for roller skiing because this bar helps the boot track the heavier roller skis, and also you're not over the balance point for a roller ski. You tend to have the bindings effectively set back from where the ski would naturally balance because they're quite short. So for roller skiing, yeah, it's not a bad design, although it's also the wear problems with roller skis are an issue. You don't want to have an accident on roller skis because you're landing on tarmac, not on snow. So what's happened? Well, these bindings are pretty much obsolete. You'll still find this binding, this still supported by Salomon, but the writing is on the wall. There's very few boots available, maybe the very top end boot. There's none of the World Cup level skiers are using them now. Jessie Dickens was using them to 2019. She stopped. everyone has gone over to the NNN. So what does this mean for you as a consumer? It means sanity, because we effectively have one binding system to deal with on prepared trails. Okay, there's differences between the flex of classic and skate bindings, but if you're buying boots and skis today, all the boots, practically all the boots made today should be compatible. So you want to get either the Salomon Prolink, Atomic Prolink, or the NNN system from Rotterfeller, Fischer and Rossignol. You will be very careful though. There are small boots like these that are on sale in the shops with a 2-bar. This is, as I said, the Profil system. It's completely incompatible, so be very careful to make sure that you're buying either Prolink or NNN boots and bindings.